So let me show you something that's pretty cool. Right, so I'm pretty interested in how large language models can interface with simulations and how the two can kind of integrate and play off each other. So what I did was I pulled up an old simulation of mine and I basically fed the output to Chat-GPT and I said, what can you do with this? So what I've got here is an old model that I've resurrected. It was done in 2017. It's just a toy model. It's only 100 lines of Python code, and it's a simulation of London Waterloo, the train station, if you're familiar. So I basically went on Google Maps and I figured out how many platforms there were, roughly how long the trains take to come in, how long they take to come out, and then I just estimated how many would be able to do that at once. So this is a SymPy simulation. And you can see here I've got the number of platforms, 24 platforms, 3 are allowed to run in at once and 3 are allowed to run out at once, and then I run the simulation for, in this case, 1,000 seconds. Now I'm using print statements here. I don't recommend that you use print statements. There's much better ways of logging simulation data, but print statements are kind of useful for just like toy models, or you want to maybe show somebody. If I run the sim, click up here, you can see it's run for 1,000 seconds and we've got our output that's appeared in the terminal. I just copy pasted this output and I went into ChatGPT and I said, I want you to write a report on my simulation study. I've made a simulation in SymPy of London Waterloo train station, specifically of the trains running in and running out. Then I just pasted all of that data. And then I said, plot some of the data as my final thing. So it's pretty open-ended. So ChatGPT jumps straight into this. Pretty interesting. What it does is it takes that log data and it literally just sticks it into a big string in Python. So it's created this log variable and then it's just basically pasted or written out all of the logs that I gave it. And then it's come up with a neat little bit of code here that basically creates events from that log data. And then it says, okay, right, we've done that. Now I want to create some extra data frames for specific columns. So it kind of says, right, I want to know what my my requesting run into action happens, when my running into action happens, the different actions basically that go on. And then it says, right, I'm going to now plot the number of trains requesting the run in over time. And now it creates this chart, which doesn't really show anything, but that's because it's got a silly format. If I switch this to a static chart, we get something pretty cool. But then there's little bottlenecks start to occur, and you can see a big bottleneck starting to build up pretty quickly. Then the system sort of starts to catch up, and we start to get into a sort of more kind of nominal behavior in the simulation. But that's pretty cool. The great thing about the fact that it's written this code is we can just take this code and we can lift it straight into our sim. So we could now run the simulation for 1,000,000 time steps and automatically plot the same charts. And then I throw it a sort of random question. I say, what recommendations can you suggest? So some recommendations, it says you could redistribute train traffic, you could improve turnaround times, you could increase the run-in and run-out authority, you can do platform maintenance and upgrades, you can do real-time monitoring. I say, brilliant, okay, how do we implement dynamic scheduling? And then it starts to go into a much more like real-world type planning, and it actually gives a little project timeline. So that's pretty cool. Now, if you're interested in learning more about simulation in Python with SymPy, I'm actually working on a series of courses around doing simulation in Python with SymPy. There's a master course as part of that, which is going to include large language models, not just ChatGPT, the kind of stuff that we've looked at here, but also integration with the OpenAI API and how we can integrate that with simulation. So if you want to stay updated, be the first to know when these courses go live, head over to my website, teachm.digital, and sign up for some updates. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any future updates.